You serious?
This is How to Kill an Hour. I'm Marcus Bronzy.
And I'm Funk Butcher.
Hey.
Ain't had that voice in a while, have you?
Oh man, I'm telling you, plenty of ways to kill some time out there right now. You are killing some time with us. How you doing, Funk?
I'm alright, you know. I'm glowing.
Glowing?
I'm glowing. In female terms, that means you're pregnant, isn't it?
Yeah, you got some good news for us. And another one.
I'm 4 months. Don't tell the dad.
Oh man. I can't wait till men have babies.
Yeah. No.
I can't wait. No. Why not? Why not?
Listen, we've got enough to go through with the man flu. They have to deal with that shit. Man flu. You know what pain and anguish we go through as men.
I've read somewhere in an actual bit of writing on the internet from a confirmed source.
A bit of writing. Confirmed source in inverted commas, but go on.
That men actually do struggle with man flu worse than women, and also women have a higher pain threshold than men as well. So you know, and
fake news.
A lot of my female friends say, "Listen, women have a higher pain threshold. We have to have a child," and I'm like, you know what? Yes, you do. So does that mean if I accept that I have a lower pain threshold, I can't handle flu like you? Man flu is a real thing.
Do you know why men have a higher pain threshold than women?
Why?
Because we have to deal with their nagging.
Wow. On this episode, things that we can get hung out to dry with. That's 1-0 to Funk.
1-0
on the misogyny scale. So yeah, it's How to Kill an Hour. We are a show that shows you different ways to kill some time. I mean, you may have even forgotten because it's been a little while, hasn't it, since we've been back?
Yes.
And
it's been a long time.
Yeah. Word on the road is we've just quit.
Yeah.
We just packed up and left the game.
There's been loads of rumours. We quit.
Yeah.
We've been arrested. I'm in Guantanamo Bay because with a beard now. Apparently, I'm one of the lead commanders of ISIS. So yeah, they picked me up when I was walking out to Tesco's. And
Not too far off.
Yeah.
Not too far off.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I haven't been around. But
yeah,
it's all rumours, all fake news.
Exactly. No, maybe we should explain a little bit why we've been away for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I think it's only right we share some love back with you, the audience that has been saying to us, "Come back. Where have you been?
You can get into some of them
What's
chats.
really good?" Yeah, definitely. Hello to Sophie Richmond. She pretty much said, you know what? She's actually, instead of just a shout out, she's actually asked us how we feel about sort of all of the scares that have been happening in London recently. So the most recent one was in Oxford Circus. There was this sort of,
by scare, Sophie means like terrorism, not spiders or
ice.
Wasn't
people scared of snow?
Yeah, snow
slipping. Yeah, there's been sort of like terrorism scares. One of them recently was apparently somebody was seen with a gun in Oxford Circus,
which is our shopping district,
which is the epicenter of shopping in central London. It literally is one of the most central parts of London, Oxford Circus, that crossroad. Apparently somebody was seen wielding a gun there. Now there are thousands and thousands of people just walking through that area. I'd say every half hour, not even in the hour.
But at the time this incident happened, is in the lead up to Christmas. Actually, it was on Black Friday, so it was at the time of like our big sales and whatnot. And,
old women punching each other up for PS4s.
Yeah, which is, do we have Cyber Monday over here?
Yeah, we do. We do now.
Yeah. So everyone was kind of in the main kind of shopping center.
Yeah.
But this incident was said to have happened. Well, the thing is, at the time there was so much misinformation flying around.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be in a department store called John Lewis.
Yeah.
And Selfridges as well.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it all started from one tweet of someone who's got like a huge prominent following on social media, and it kind of spread like wildfire all over the internet. I was at home that evening. I think I was on the old PS4, and I just saw the Twitter feed kind of erupted, and people kind of added fuel to the fire. What you do, you care about your loved ones and your nearest and dearest, and you're just trying to send a message on, because it's better to be safe than sorry in these instances. But no one could actually kind of confirm the sightings or the claims, because a lot of people were taking it from secondhand information.
So was it a rumor then?
It was. See, here's the thing. The person who was kind of behind the message gaining as much traction as it did was a celebrity in the UK called Ollie Murs. He'd previously won a talent contest over here called was it a Pop Idol?
It's
X Factor?
Pop Idol or X something. Yeah.
One of Simon Cowell's manufacturers. Yeah, and he sent out a tweet. But the nature of his tweet, it sounded like he was an eyewitness. He was like, Duck, motherfuckers, they're shooting, they're trying to kill us, everyone, run! And it was like, if you read his initial tweet, it was like he was live in the place, like Trisha Takanawa from Family Guy. You know Trisha Takanawa, she's always in there, the Asian news correspondent. And he was acting like he saw this all live in the flesh. And he got taken to task for it afterwards for kind of inciting fear and causing panic. But he genuinely seemed apologetic and seemed like he was scared as well. So I don't know, poor Ollie, maybe he's a bit of a
terrorist. Ollie was a terrorist. He terrorized people.
He terrorized with tweets.
Yeah. I mean, so Sophia's basically what she said was, how do you feel personally about traveling around London and using London transport? Now, before you say that, when I saw the message, and because you were one of the people that shared the message because you cared about people.
Yeah.
When I saw the message, I looked at it and I was like, if there are people in Oxford Circus, if I send a message to my people, is that going to cause them to act out and maybe be part of a stampede where they hurt themselves?
Yeah.
Or are they going to die because I don't message them? That was the dilemma that I had to face.
Yeah.
And I went with the latter. I didn't send a message because I was like, it's going to be out there anyway.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah, but I just wasn't sure. I had no sources. Really, Funk, because it was Funk, I should have said, that's a reputable source. That's a real source. Sauce. No ketchup. But I was just like, nah, I like to think that if...
But what was you looking for? Like a BBC News correspondent?
Probably,
actually?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's because I'm old school.
But even BBC are slow these days.
Yeah, that's true. Social media works well quicker than, the BBC because there's people there on the scene.
They are there tweeting first. Hello, we are here reporting from part of Twitter News and can I have your statement, please? And it's just like, they are there at the scene way before your Skies and your Foxes and your CNNs.
Yeah.
So I think more... and. In this day and age, there's a lot of distrust for big media corporations in the way they report the news, especially over here because we've had a real big scandal over here in the northwest part of London with the Grenfell thing where the misinformation and the numbers and it's just a mess. So no one really trusts that kind of news coming from those sources. So your average Dagenham Dave kind of thing reporting on the street, we kind of take his word for gospel.
Yeah, but how trustful is Dagenham Dave? It's a whole nother conversation.
The thing is, Ollie Murs sounded like he was John McClane.
He sounded like he was in a real action film. He sounded like we needed a Liam Neeson to come and save him.
What was that?
Are you right there, Billy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
Gremlins.
How you doing?
It's not too bad. I'm better than... Well, I could be better.
Yeah, I mean, Billy wasn't going to come into the studio today, but he decided he really wanted us to give us a cold for Christmas. Yeah. So he's trying his best to share with us. We need to remember what mic that is. What mic is that, Billy?
Mic 3.
If you're ever on How to Kill an Hour, don't go on mic 3 because Billy's...
that was Billy's new single. It's called Mad Cow Disease, coming out in 2018 on Spotify. Spotify.
But so to get back to this point, this is our first shout of many. It's going to be a good long show.
Yeah.
Sophia said, how does it make you going around London because it makes her feel anxious?
Okay. My answer, I'm indifferent. On the way up here, I fell asleep on the tube. So Billy's laughing. The terrorists have got to wake me up and let me know that they're there first because I think what's happened now, unfortunately, is that you get so many instances of these stories that the apathy just builds.
Yeah.
And you're just like, again, hold on, Mr. Bad Guy. Let me just act scared. And the fact of the matter is, I know it seems like a bit of a cliche that our mayor and basically every political leader likes to kind of roll out they won't let us disturb our normal day-to-day practices, and they won't strike fear into our daily routines and our daily lives. We have to persevere and carry on and blah, blah, blah. And I guess it is true. You can't let them deviate from what you need to be doing on a day-to-day. That is part of the fundamentals of terrorism. So, I mean, in the instance of that situation on Oxford Street, that was a red herring. It was a false alarm, and it just shows you that, you can't overreact, which some people do, to every instance of news which hits the timeline. Because I don't like the guy Donald Trump, but he is right. There's a lot of fake news out there.
There is. And also, I mean, Sophie, the way I see it is that if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I could walk out across the street and get run over by a bus.
Yeah.
Do you get me? That's
actually statistically higher.
Probably, to get hit by a car, or if I'm a cyclist, it's well more likely for me to get hit. So, to be fair, you could be super cautious and never come to London because you're living your life in fear, but live a little, man. Yeah. Live a little. And me, if I'm on it, I want to go out with a bang.
Yeah.
What a way to go. What a way to go.
Literally.
Like, could you imagine? Like, I going, for me, dying quietly in a little chair with my favorite record playing is a lovely way to go.
Yeah.
But that's not really gonna be something to talk about. I want to be the sort of guy that goes out with a bat. I want to go out fighting an armed robber. Yeah. And because of my sacrifice, thousands of people live. I'm fighting with him for a gun, yeah. And then I turn the gun around and face it at my own chest because he's behind me, and I fire the gun through my own chest and incapacitate him as well as myself.
The melodrama has gone off the scale.
Yeah.
Marcus is the kind of terrorist that if he was to blow himself up, there'll be confetti as well. And pyrotechnics.
I'm the terrorist killer, baby. Yeah, I want you to terrorize me. Sophie, I just feel like, if I'm honest, just live your life.
Yeah.
You could, I don't know, electrocute yourself using a toaster.
Yeah.
I can imagine Sophie looking at toasters now going,
yeah. I'll just have the bread, just dry, please.
Yeah.
Plain.
Yeah.
London is safe.
Yeah, it's safe.
As our mayor says, London is open.
Yeah. But being a black man in LA, that's a conversation for another day. So she said, keep up the great work, and she'd like some more long episodes. We're definitely going to get a long episode here. Let's be honest.
Thank you.
Alexi Nuisance was like, what's up with the lack of podcast, guys?
All right.
What's going on?
All right.
Appreciate that, man.
Cracking that whip, Alexi.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back. And that's what's up. He also asked what we think of the new iPhones. We've already covered iPhones on the How to Kill an Hour website. We've actually, because even though we've not been podding as much recently, howtokillanhour.com, the place where you can get information about everything we talk about on the show, is rich with content about new tech and gadgets and things that we've been killing time with. He'd like to hear our opinion on the new iPhones.
And I mean, there's a lot of great talent on howtokillanhour.com. Mark has done a comparison between the new iPhone 10 and the Google Pixel 2 phone and all the different camera capabilities and all that. So you can check that out on the website. I've held steady on it, man. Is Christmas approaching? I've got 3 kids and I can't... that I know of. And I can't really justify... giving this huge mammoth of a company even more of my hard-earned cash, and they're going to bring out the iPhone 10 plus 1 next year.
The iPhone X1.
Yeah, X1.
XS.
Yeah.
No,
it's iPhone 10. It's not iPhone X.
I call it X.
If you
Funk asked me, do you remember before it came out, like after the keynote, Funk messaged me saying, what did you message me? Like,
I said, are you going to get the iPhone X?
No,
I said, are you going to get the iPhone 10? And then you sent me a whole load of voice notes using every pun that you could possibly muster with the word X in it. Exhibit songs, DMX songs. Yeah, this went on for quite a while.
The X-Men theme tune.
Yeah, X-Men theme tune.
You know it, baby. All of them.
I mean, if you go into the Apple store and you ask for an iPhone X, you should see the looks they give you. They actually want to murder you on the shop floor.
Really? Yeah. Do they have to say, sorry, sir, we don't have that in stock?
Yeah. It's just like when you go into McDonald's and you ask for, can I have Pepsi? We don't have Pepsi here. We serve Coca-Cola, actually.
Yeah. Can I have a 7-Up? Sorry, we serve Sprite.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, my idea on the new iPhone is it an amazing step forward? Yeah, I mean, it's got. The camera on it's decent. Yeah. I mean, like Funk said,
pick one.
Well, is it a good enough? I had the 7 before. It's a good upgrade from my 7. It's a little bit bigger, so I think they're prepping me for 7 Plus land. Yeah. The screen's great. The battery life is good so far. Yeah. Bearing in mind it's a brand new phone. I do love we do have our hands on the Pixel 2. I do love the Pixel 2.
This is the iPhone 10, yeah?
Yeah, versus iPhone 10.
Have you dropped it yet?
Camera, yeah, fucking hell, man. I dropped it. Yeah, I dropped it. But it's fine. It's fine. I dropped it and it hit the corner of the phone, but the case took the
Oh, you got a case of it? Okay.
Come on, man.
Do you reckon it would have survived without the case on?
I'd never ever want to even contemplate that. It's made out of glass, bruv. Made out of glass, but get that Apple Care, man. Get that accidental cover. If you've got tech that's worth over 300 quid, get that accidental cover, man. Pay that extra. But yeah, I think it's a good phone. To be fair, camera wise, let's be honest, Google's in a good zone. They're kicking ass.
Yeah, I can testify to that.
Exactly. But what you forget is because actually Funk actually went and had a real good bit of this is another thing on the website. Funk, you actually tried out you actually went down to a football match, didn't you? England game.
Yep. And
you got to try out the Google Pixel 2 camera and see what it can do.
Yes, I was using the Google Pixel 2 to take pictures of our very own England team getting it handed to them. Even though it was a 0-0 draw, but they got handed to them by the Brazilian maestros. It was a
spanking.
Yeah, it was a spanking.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It was a 0-0 draw, but it was just there was levels there.
You could tell. You could tell.
But the picture quality. I was at pitch side and I was snapping away, and man, felt like I could reach into the phone and feel the turf.
It's amazing. But that's only one element of a phone's experience, camera. It's an important one.
I mean, the main feature when we was kind of giving the tutorial of the Google Pixel phone that really leaped out to me, it wasn't even the camera quality. It was that new tech that they're looking to bring out with the translator. So Google are bringing out a feature which is like an earplug set, which kind of syncs with their technology, and it acts as a translator.
Oh, so it's like Google Translate, but live. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So they're still working out. I've been looking at that. They're still working out the bugs to make it perfect.
Yeah.
But I think word for word translation is really hard when you do something like Japanese to English, because the way in which we order words is a bit backwards. Yeah. Or if we want to look at it the other way around, the way in which they might order words are backwards.
Yeah.
So in their country, it might be to the shops, let's go. And we say, let's go to the shops. So until they work out those bits. But that will be sick, though. Imagine. Yeah. Imagine the amount of the Casanovas that can go international now.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
It kind of ties into the storyline of a game called Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain.
How the fuck does this tie into Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain?
Because I'm glad you asked.
How are you going to tie a phone to a computer game?
Because the main narrative of that film is that the bad guy is basically trying to eliminate all language, all linguistics, and make one homogeneous language. And what he does is he puts a bug, and the bug resonates and it kind of activates when certain languages are spoken, because he's trying to eliminate all these other dialects, so there's just one universal dialect.
So if you speak another dialect, you die.
Yeah.
You die if you speak another language.
Exactly.
What language does he want everyone to talk?
So basically, what is it? I think he's from a part of the world where certain groups and certain different nations had come in and invaded his country, so he kills these people from these specific speaking countries.
Right.
But obviously what it leads to is that you're going to have, in the end, a group of people all speaking the same language. So what I'm saying, with this ear set, we're probably looking at a time where everyone is going to be able to understand each other to the point where we're all going to be speaking one language soon.
Wow. If you could pick a language for us all to speak, what would it be?
Gibberish.
Drunk. Drunk would be a good language to speak, because then you'd have to get smashed to have a conversation. I'd love that. So I don't know how we got there, but there you go, Alexi. Oh, that was it, the iPhone. Oh, so yeah, in summary, I'm an iOS fan and a Mac OS fan. It's the ecosystem is still very strong. I'm going to admit there's some Mac products like the new MacBook Pro.
You're not talking about makeup.
No. The new MacBook Pro that is not. I'm not happy with it. I'm if you know me, I've not got the new Shell MacBook Pro. My new Mac was the old Mac, but spec'd out.
Yeah.
Because I like things that can. I like to do a shoot, take the SD card out and throw it straight into my camera, and things like that. You need dongles for.
Yeah.
The new iPhone has got wireless charging, which is a great little thing. The face recognition I'm finding really good in cold weather. It's been snowing in the UK recently, early December, and I've realised I can take my phone out of my pocket, even though I've got touchscreen gloves, press the standby button, it wakes up, reads my face, and I can just hold that standby button again. In the middle
of a snowstorm.
In the middle of a snowstorm, hold that standby button again and say, open iTunes podcast app. Okay. And there you go. Okay. I'm in podcast. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Or set an alarm or call somebody, all without having to take your phone off. Because with the previous iPhone, you need to use your thumb recognition. Yeah. You have to take your thumb out your glove.
So
there you go.
That's the question I wanted to ask you as a user of it. Mm-hmm. Is there a feature whereby if it doesn't recognize your face, you can enter in the passcode or?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a little delay. So at night time when half my face is covered by pillows and blankets, I'm looking at my phone one-eyed.
Yeah.
I have to put in the passcode.
It prompts you to bring up. Okay.
Yeah. And apparently, if there's a few ways of hacking it. Apparently, kids that are around 13, their faces, because their features aren't fully developed, they can hack them.
Really? I heard there's a hack where you can hold up a photograph to it and it lands.
Really?
Is that true? No,
doesn't work. It needs to be It needs to be 3D.
Billy said that's fake news as well.
Fake news, yeah, fake news. It needs to be 3D.
A 3D image.
Yes, it needs to be a 3D image.
So maybe if you wrapped the photograph around a
3D model,
a mannequin's head,
it has to have the same.
No, wouldn't work.
Like your cheekbones and your nose have to be. This is a good question. Your cheekbones and your nose has specific distances between them, so it will measure like the space between your tip of your nose, your cheekbones, the way your eyes.
See.
So somebody managed to hack it by scanning a head and painting a model out of it. But how many people have the technology to like scan someone's head?
Yeah.
And then like fake their whole head. Okay. Mission Impossible. This will be something that take 2 seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
But not currently possible. We've also got a massive line of shout outs, Funk, as well. We've only got through 2. Do you want to just smash through these ones here? These amazing people who have all got in contact with us, told us that they've been listening, followed, liked content that we've been popping out there.
Yes. Shouts going out to Amazing Arabella, out to the tour, out to Oliver Rees, out to Desmate, Gadgets Boy, Ramel London, David Burrows, Ricardo Mantero, Jojo Canati, Brendan Walker, Tony, just a Brazilian, just one name.
Tony.
Yeah.
You all right, Tony?
Just one name in the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
The New Local, Chris Adams, Catherine Hull, Thomas Huckster, Regular Frog, William Green, Nicholas B.A., Keisha US, Guy Wainwright, Tag Me in Podcast, Glenn, Quadra Block, and Lick PR.
That's right. Also, hello to Lioness as well. She's an original listener.
Yes.
Who regularly gets involved in the show. Yeah, love to you. If you ever want to get in contact with us, just hit us up on social media. Any type of social media. It's at How to Kill an Hour. Whatever one you use. Simples. So now we're going to talk about what's good for Christmas. Because we've had our hands on a lot of stuff this year. So let's go through some bits that we think may be of interest to you around this festive period. Do you know what I mean, Funk? First thing is a great bit of tech that we got whizzed over called Cosmo. Now, as I start to talk about this, right, you're going to think that this is something we've seen for years and years and years. Now, the cool thing about this present is that it's a toy that has a personality.
Okay.
Now, I know you think you're like, we've heard this before. Tamagotchis apparently had personality, yeah? All right. Did they really? Is this a new word that they're using in replacement for AI?
Personality.
It is. It's AI. But we've heard AI before. Tamagotchi we've heard as AI. Yeah. Furbies, AI,
Yeah.
Like Furbies, I was told, they'd sound like you. I remember saying they sound like you. They'd have certain habits and stuff. But really, it was like a little fluffy toy that just sat there and went, what else have we had? I've seen like robotic dogs that apparently have personality and do tricks. Now, they've been all right. But they've kind of had like a shelf life that means after a day of playing with it, kids kind of put them down and go and do something else. Now, what they've done with Cosmo is he's like this little robot, yeah. And I'm gonna draw an obvious comparison. You know, Wall-E.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be. I'll come back to why I'm using
Disney film.
The Disney film.
Yeah.
There's a little robot, and he's got little tracks, and he rolls around, and he's got a really cute personality.
Yeah.
So one of the main things that they've done with Cosmo is he's this little. I'll call him like a little Wall-E. Imagine like a smaller version of Wall-E. Sit on the palm of your hand.
Okay.
He looks like a little truck, a little bulldozer with a square face at the front.
Yeah.
And the square face on the front is a little screen
Okay.
where you can see all of his expressions. And he can drive around. He can make sure that he doesn't fall off the edge of corners of table. And he does little tricks. And I'll get onto some of those tricks. But as well as tricks and driving around and making sure it doesn't fall off the edge of a table, right, cool, we've got things that can do that. They've actually encoded personality and AI in him in a very interesting way. Now, they actually approached people who have designed for, and Billy will tell me if I'm wrong, is it Disney and Pixar? Disney and Pixar, isn't it? Pixar, Disney, yeah. And they've actually got the people that worked on productions such as Wall-E to create a personality in this robot, which is very much something that makes you get attached to him.
Okay.
So, and we've got all of this up at How to Kill Now. You can see videos of it doing its thing.
So did they use the Pixar and Disney staff to put in the characteristics of the Wall-E character into this?
It's not Wall-E, it's Cosmo. Okay. It's not Cosmo. Like, you know, I want to get this clear. It's not like a Wall-E bit of merchandise.
Okay.
It's Cosmo. Cosmo's got its own personality. Good question. And literally, they've spent so much time on giving him personality that, like I said, it tracks you to sort of interacting with it and playing with it. So while you play with Cosmo, you can just put him on a table, yeah, and he has a little camera in his face, and the camera can see your face and it can recognize you. So he can look at me, and I can, and there's an iPad app where we can input bits of data. Very simply, you'll say, "Oh, that's Marcus." He'll look at me and be like, "Marcus," so he can look at your expression and see if you're happy, see if you're sad, see if you're just kind of neutral and stuff like that. So little bits of tech, like read your face, and then he can react to that, but not just like and walks away, because they've given him that sort of Disney personality.
Yeah,
he reacts in a way that's like, you know, he might wave his hands at you to try and get your attention and do something silly to make you smile.
Okay.
And that's just him interacting with you, your face, right? As well as that, he can interact with the environment and some cubes that he's got. He's got these little block cubes that he uses for various toys, for various sort of games that you play with him. So there might be a stacking game where he stacks up little toys. But if you... actually, I'll get to that. So speaking about the face recognition, if he looks at you and you don't look at him and give him attention, and he keeps trying to get your attention and you don't look at him, he gets a little bit angry sometimes. He might shake his hands around in the air and go, "Ah."
So essentially, this is the first product that has incorporated emotional intelligence.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. In fact, they simulate that by, they've got these graphs. I saw some. Actually, I saw them. I'm going to be honest. I saw it on the Gadget Show. They've got some graphs, and they actually show that his there's like 4 different layers of human emotion. I can't remember them, but for example, there might be confidence or, you know, excitement, and he shows you that as you interact with him in different ways, those things change and those things trigger different reactions from him. So you don't look at him, you might get a little bit upset, or if he's got a gyroscope and you shake him around, he gets dizzy and goes, "Ugh." Or if you play a game with him, like there's little games like he has a cube, you hold the cube and he tries to hit the cube, the other side of the cube, and you have to move your hand back. If he starts battering you, he finds it hilarious. If you batter him, if you move away the cube and he can't hit it, he gets a little bit disheartened and upset sometimes.
Fascinating.
Real interaction. And also with this is just the first version that we've got out. Because it's hardware, I mean, and if I'm honest, the hardware in it isn't that exciting. It's like a camera in the front of it to recognize you and see you. It's not like some super 4K camera. It's like a reasonably good camera. Like the tech in it is good, but it's the way that they've programmed it is amazing, and they can keep upgrading it as well. So he can interact and play with different things. So he might get happy if he stacks up some blocks. If he stacks up the blocks and you knock them down, he's like, "Oh, dread. Why'd you do that for?" Really, really interesting. And also there's like a developing kit you can get to get real into the coding for it as well, and you can code extra stuff in yourself, which I think is great. But honestly, the personality that I've seen from products, has been okay in the past, but you start talking about him like he's a him or a her, Cosmo. You're like him. You're like, how's he going? Like, is he cool? Is he all right? Yeah. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
So what's the age group for this?
I mean, I would put this age group easy. I mean, I don't know what they are officially, but in my opinion, I could see a 5 or 6 year old playing with him. But then when you start adding the developing stuff in, it's 11, 12. They might get him to, I don't know. I could see it going on further. I had fun with it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I'm definitely not 12 years old.
What would be interesting if this toy had the capabilities to evolve in age, in emotional age. So it may start off as a toy which is designed for the age group of someone 5 to 10, let's say. And if it learns at the same pace as a 5 to 10-year-old does, it gets the emotional intelligence of someone older. So essentially, you have a product for life, because as you get older and it picks up certain ways you might manifest sadness when you're older is different from when you would manifest it when you're younger. When you're older, you kind of mask sadness. And if it could read that might be quite interesting if it's actually picking up those things developing over time.
I think that's definitely the next stage of AI in toys. It's something that you get that ages with you. Skynet, yeah. That's the next stage. Skynet, yeah. Definitely think that's something that's feasible. If you had, I still think it's a lot of programming, but if you program something where it could learn at a specific pace, and it unlocked different emotions or different behaviors, that kind of is learning. As if it could do it off its own back. I don't know quite yet if there's tech out there. I mean, but you can, for example, with this, you can upgrade skills by playing with him or downloading stuff to the iPad, and there's loads of different skills that will do, and he's very aware of his surroundings. So you try and creep up on him and jump on him, and he'll go like that. He'll react to that. And games he can do just loads, like quick tap, both of you get a cube, and when it lights up you have to tap on it, or Cosmo taps on it, and oh man, I don't know, I just feel like it's much more than just a kid's present, but it kind of shows that if you program quite simple devices and quite simple tech you get an experience out of it that's very human like. And don't get it twisted. This is not iNet. This isn't something that's just always, it's not going to go off and go to the shops and get you a drink if you want. But in terms of longevity from entertainment and something that actually has a personality, this is definitely it.
Interesting.
You throw it, you throw him around a little bit, he won't be happy. Do you know what I mean? But if you play with him, he'll be happy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just do the same thing every time. It's not like every single time he's upset, he goes, oh. He does he reacts in loads of different ways.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I think that, if you want to get something for your kids over Christmas, I'd be up for that.
What's the price point on that?
At the moment, in 2017, it is, I'm not Googling it, I promise. It's definitely not being Googled and the internet isn't being slow. It's retailing at 230 quid.
Okay.
But it's not something that I feel like you. Where have you found it for 159?
Amazon.
His mate Dave at the back of a lorry.
I'm on Amazon, but if you want to get the full spec of the price, Billy.
So Billy,
am I looking at dollars?
So Billy's got one. What's that? 159.
Yeah, but
pounds.
If I'm honest,
is that pounds or Bitcoin, Billy?
Pounds. Yeah, Bitcoin would be 110.
159 Bitcoin. That's like 10 million pounds.
Exactly. But we'll put a link in the show description and click on that, and you can get the current price, because depending on when you listen to this podcast, you know how things are on the internet. Internet fluctuate like everything else that we talk about on this show. Click that link in the description and crack on from there.
So what else? What else you got for me for Christmas?
Star Wars shavers. That's right. Disney be making that money back, baby.
And Disney. This obviously isn't for 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds with beards.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, if your 5-year-old has a beard, well, I don't know, early start in the game. But I'd say Disney, they've made their money back now, haven't they?
Yeah.
That $4 billion that they dropped on Star Wars, they're making sure that they get that money back.
I think for the past, since they relaunched like the second trilogy, like the third set of free films over the past 4 years, December has been the Star Wars period.
It's the Star Wars period.
Like you don't want to release a film around December.
Nah, man. You don't want to. Star Wars is
summer's Marvel.
Yeah.
And December is Star Wars.
Star Wars is like stepping up to the blocks when Usain Bolt was in his prime.
Yeah.
And you're a runner.
Yeah.
You're going to do your best.
It's game over.
But you kind of know they're going to cross the finish line, looking at the clock, breaking the world record, having eaten some chicken nuggets before the race while you've had to have protein shake. You've had to have 60 Red Bulls. You've had to have counselling to get in a mental right state. You get me?
It's silver at best.
Yeah, silver at best. But what they've done here is they've hooked up with a great company that's known for making good products, Philips. So they've managed to bring the Star Wars experience to a man's shave.
Okay.
I'm going to say this out there straight away. One of the things that I did mention is that they should definitely do a women's range as well, especially because of the female protagonist in the new Star Wars films is definitely meaning that it's bringing in a lot more, a lot larger female audience. I feel like it's good to have a heroine.
I haven't seen. I thought you were going to say she got a beard in the film. I was thinking,
and she does shave. She does shave in the film as well. She with the Force.
Spoiler alert.
She shaves with a lightsaber. But to celebrate the release of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Philips have collaborated with Star Wars to bring you Star Wars inspired shavers. They're calling it Philips Master Your Shave, you will. The range combines cutting edge technology.
Have they really called it that?
No.
Oh,
it's called Philips. It's called Philips Master Your Shave.
Man, they missed something.
Yeah, I know.
That is brilliant.
It combines cutting edge technology that we all know and love from Philips and designs that emulate your favorite Star Wars stuff. I went down for a dinner with Otis from the Gadget Show. Is there actually?
Shouts Otis.
Yeah. He's been on an episode. Billy, can you find out what episode Otis has been on, and then I'll tell you. Whoa! Off the top, Billy. 171.
Yeah.
No hesitation.
I'm pretty sure it is. I was working on it yesterday.
Okay, cool. 171. So we went down there. We had a little chat with the marketing manager for the male shaving and grooving. They spoke about shaving, but then when it got down to the shavers itself, they're pretty cool. So they got three, four or five. They got 5 ones. I'll go through them real quick. So they've got dark side shavers. So the dark side shavers it's so sick.
Okay.
So the dark side shavers, has a red and black theme. You know, Jedi's black coats. What are they called? Black shawls.
Yeah.
And red lightsabers. So they've got that, and it's a premium shaver.
That's not Jedi's. You mean the Empire?
Sith. Sorry, the Sith.
Yeah. The bad guys.
The Siths. Yeah, the baddies. And they've got a hexagonal pattern.
Billy's going to hit us with the Star Wars.
What you got for us, Billy?
Hang on, I was wrong on that episode, by the way. It's 176.
Okay. Billy just shows that if you say it with confidence,
171
you can sound right. He was wrong and strong.
What's something else? 171 was with Dev.
So episode 176 with Otis.
Yes.
Thank you, Billy. Billy?
Yeah.
Get it right next time, man.
All
right. I feel sorry for Billy. He's not got it in the system today. I'm well, Bill.
Man flu.
Better than I was yesterday.
How you doing?
Just sniffly nose. Yesterday I had a bit of like a head cold. Today that's gone. Just got a sniffly nose.
Pull your socks up, Billy.
Yeah, have a Lucozade and do some push-ups, man. They've got all right, I'll go through what the saver's got. It's a V-Track Pro Blades, which basically provide excellent comfort and closeness, and the colours are, like I said, black to red gradient, hexagonal patterning, and topped off with the first order logo as the power button. So you actually get the logo of the first order when it powers up. So it looks like a little lightsaber.
Yeah.
So each of these shavers have kind of got the logos of the side of the Force that they are representing.
Yeah, that looks really nice. Yeah.
They do look cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Philips know about shavers, but they've actually managed to bring that Star Wars experience to it.
I'm actually beard gang, but I'm tempted to just shave it all off I can purchase that.
It's got edging on it as well, so you can edge up your beard. But I will say with wet shaving and electric shaving and any type of shaving, you just have to know how to do it. You need the right tools and you need to know how to do it right. So I wasn't a fan of beards for a while because I wasn't shaving my beard right, or I wasn't a fan of wet shaving for a while because I wasn't doing it right. And the same with electric shaving. You just have to. It sounds weird, but you have to kind of find what works for you, and you have to maybe speak to somebody who really knows about shaving, like your barber or whatever, because they can give you that advice.
So is designed for a close shave, though, isn't it?
You can close shave with it. Yeah, that's a close shave. Definitely a close shave. And the next one is also a close shave. It's for the good side of the force. So which is the SW7700. Basically, it's got a totally different color scheme. So yeah, much more like our Luke Skywalker. Yeah. It's got light blue colors gradient into white. It's actually got a Millennium Falcon power button.
Really?
So you press the power button, you see a Millennium Falcon. It's freaking cool.
The irony of it is that Mark Hamill, who's kind of taking back his position as Luke in this new film, has got a big old beard in this film. So
he's got a big
he needs this.
Yeah, he does. He needs a goddamn shave. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's got the lightsaber kind of vibe on it as a power button. So when it powers up,
he was clean shaven before. Back in the day, before his dad cut off his arm.
Yeah, but they have to make him look a bit gruff though, don't they? They have to bring him. They have to make him look aged. He looks kind of like Obi now, doesn't he? But Obi looked old man Obi-Wan Kenobi looked a little bit in better shape, didn't he?
Yeah, I like Obi's beard. Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. Obi. Yeah, and they got an X-wing one, the SW6700. Okay. So that's kind of got X-wing. Not X-wing colours, really. It's got a bit of the grey from the X-wing, but it's kind of like what the people that are pilots of the X-wing wear. So it's kind of got the oranges in, little splashes of red.
Have you used any of these yet?
Yeah, I have actually used one on the day. I was trimming up because I've got a beard, but I low shave underneath my beard to my jawline and I shape with it.
Do they make the lightsaber noises? Do they go?
Please ask me that in a few minutes. Yeah, ask me that in a few minutes. So there's a BB-8 one that's got the BB-8 colours as well.
Oh, that little round ball thing.
That's it. That's right. Okay. And then they got one for R2D2 as well. Same colour. R2D2. R2D2. They've got a range of functions, and the range of functions that they have kind of varies. You go up through the range, so the top level Jedi Knight ones and Sith ones do a lot more, have different technology, and R2D2 kind of is a bit more simple, and he's at the lower end of the range. So yeah, there's loads of stuff. Check out all the prices and everything at howtokillanhour.com. Now, Funk, you asked me if they make lightsaber noises. That's one of the things that we asked.
Yeah,
we wanted to know, do they do it?
My hand is in my pocket on my wallet. It's coming out. You might go back.
That's what you asked. If they do that,
I want to hear that in the morning as I'm shaving.
As you're shaving,
talk to me, Marcus. Put me on my misery.
Funk.
I need the force in the morning. Shave man's beard by force.
I gotta be honest, bro. They don't have it. They don't have it. I gotta be honest with you.
My chest.
And I think
the dark side's got me.
I gotta be honest. I think it's just, I didn't know that there's licensing around that noise.
Really?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
They've copyrighted the.
Yeah.
How can you copyright? How do you even type that in when you're applying for your copyright?
I don't know.
Can you please copyright the used in my film, please?
The what?
The used in my film, please.
It is classic, though, isn't it? It is classic.
That's fascinating.
I don't know, man. But yeah, they don't. And I got to be honest, man, they don't, man. And I was a little bit like, it doesn't take away from the shave, but I think
George Lucas didn't miss a trick, did he?
Maybe in the future we'll get it. Maybe in the future, or you can just go on the Tube of You and find out on YouTube some sound effects and just play it.
Yeah.
Get me?
He's probably trademarked like blue and red for the lightsabers. Like he owns those colors as well.
Excuse me, is that lightsaber red you're using on your lights? Yeah, we're gonna sue you. Yeah, no, but they don't at the moment. But in terms of a premium shave, yeah, that's it. They got you, baby. They got you. Okay. They got you. Another thing that would be pretty cool this year is PSVR. It's doing a lot. We've got PSVR here at How to Kill an Hour. We'll be reviewing some VR games shortly.
And for the complete layman out there, that's PlayStation's virtual reality.
Thank you.
Headset thingamajigs.
Thank you very much, Funk. There's been a lot of hype around VR over the last year or so. How to Kill an Hour have been across it since the sort of birth of VR and sort of the different elements that we get from the different VR flavors that are out there.
This year's been a big VR year, isn't it? 2017.
I think it has. I think it's been a year where we started to realize the potential and the negative effects, or not going to say negative, or what VR can do and what it can't do.
I mean, we've been talking about it in the show. It feels like for an age, and then we've it's kind of led up to the point where now developers are actually making products, and the price point is right. And because I think that was the one thing we kind of discussed, that this technology is amazing, but can people really afford it?
Exactly, and it's affording it. It's how easy it is to use, and is the content right for it. So how can we have games that sell like COD or GTA in a VR environment? And I think that's the next challenge they need to find. By far the best challenge, the best VR experience that we've seen, or one that's really broken out the box and utilized the VR experience, has to be Resident Evil.
Yeah, I was going to say
has to be Resident Evil. But little things that they did to the game is things like they made the difference between the power level of you, the user, and the non-player characters. Very, very close. So you couldn't run away really quickly and hide from a baddie. You know, like a baddie could be on you if you're not careful. And baddies took quite long to kill. I'm trying not to spoil the story. And then they obviously used all the jump scare stuff. They really added personality into the stories. They led your hand at certain points, because VR is great, you can go anywhere, but at certain points you need to be taken by the hand. And we find that really, really works.
I've always found it interesting why a company like the company behind Call of Duty haven't jumped into the VR experience. It seems like an obvious
There we
port.
go. Yeah. But I think it's how to port it in a way that works. So we've seen Fallout 4's had a VR iteration that's come out. But I just think it's people need to stop piling VR content in the same group as non-VR computer games, because I see them as two different entities now. Certain games can cross over, but I feel like the experiences that you can get from VR are very different to the experiences that you can get from computer games. So like VR can do stuff that's, for example, they could put you in an environment where you walk around and look around and explore and take in amazing views and sounds. And it can't be done as well if you're just playing on a flat screen. But if you're talking about like a COD environment where you're running around shooting people up and stuff, I've not yet played a game that has crossed that over, has put us in a VR situation where I've enjoyed that as much. Or I'm not saying it can't happen, but as much yet. Do you know what I mean? Or like I said, Resident Evil works really, really well in VR. In fact, I'm so scared. I've only put on the VR headset for a few minutes playing it, and I was like, it's all right. I'll go back to playing on a normal screen, because it's like so intense and scary, and I'm a wimp. And then there's other games that I might like to play. Like there might be like a side scroller, or there might be like Zelda. Do you know what I mean? Like
I think Zelda would be quite interesting.
Yeah, but I'd be cool with not playing that on VR. Do you know what I mean? Or GTA, there's VR people that have programmed in VR versions of it.
Okay, why would you be okay with not playing Zelda on VR? It seems like such a wide open landscape.
Third person. Okay. Just enjoying seeing Link run around and do his thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But I mean, you could experience being Link and looking through like an open field, and would that not
yeah, it would. I'd have a go.
I'd
have a go. But like Super Mario Odyssey, which we'll talk about in a little bit, I'm cool with not being Mario. I kind of like seeing Mario do what he needs to do. So there's a whole lot of VR out there. I mean, in terms of PlayStation VR, I will say the headset's very comfortable for long wear, and it gives you an easy way of accessing the VR platform if you have a PS4.
Okay.
All the hardware's there.
Yeah.
Plug it all in. Crack on. And it's quite easy to put together. The instructions are very good. Whereas if you need to get the other two, Oculus or Vive, then you need to make sure you have a PC which is of spec.
Yeah.
And hook all of that up. Do you know what I mean? And you have to have a PC that's of spec in a room where there's space. Now, I don't know about you, but my PC or my computer areas of my house tend to be ones where I can like little nooks.
Yeah.
Like you put a computer in a nook in your house, innit?
Yeah.
But
most people's computers are in corners. Yeah.
Corners or in room. Like you can get away with a little study or something like that, or a little room.
Yeah.
Whereas where your PlayStation is, that's more likely going to be one of the bigger rooms in your house, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a living room area.
Yeah.
So little things like that. So would you have to have another PC? Would you have to have a gaming laptop? So these are things that certain people find good or bad. 3D audio, they both have. I I mean, I feel like it's close. I think we're in a position where we need somebody to come along with a breakthrough game that pulls VR into a world that we love. Like, so for example, there's a game that we're going to be doing some content on the YouTube channel for.
Yeah.
Star Trek Bridge Command. Well, I think it's a very clever way of using VR, because it's VR, but you sit down and you control the bridge of a Star Trek, of the Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting thing you can do. You can play multiplayer. There can be people all over the place.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need loads of space as well, but it's a VR experience where you can look around, see around the ship, see outside the ship, fire photon torpedoes and stuff like that. And I like that because I'm a Trekkie, but you might not be a Trekkie. You might be like, that's crap.
Yeah.
I feel like a Star Wars VR experience would be the way to go. That would be sick.
Yeah.
With lightsabers. But man.
I think I'm in a unique position because I haven't actually tried any of the VR headsets yet, and I sit in that space where I know as much about VR as what I read online and what I've seen and what you've told me about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the key to winning for VR winning is PR. I think that's the key. I think if you have successful PR, VR can do really well, because then you can kind of sell to the audience what it actually can do and what it can't do, and what is the best way to use it. Because I was one of those people that's like, Nintendo Wii. Now, I'm a kind of sit down, control in my hand, play a game. Nintendo Wii always struck me as one of those things where its strong suits were games like Dance Dance Revolution and jumping up and down and waving your hands. And I'm just like that's what I go to the park and play football for. I don't want to do exercise and have to have a separate change of clothes because I'm all sweaty now playing the game. So VR for me sits in that space of, it seems like a very active type of a periphery. Sorry, for playing games on.
It is. And most of the time.
But what you just said is this new Star Trek game.
Exactly.
Is that
it's exploring sitting down. So there's the static stuff and it opens up multiplayer.
But they're going to miss a big audience if they don't kind of push that out there, that you can play it sitting down. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is, if you got your PS4 like me, you got your VR plugged in, you sit at home, I sit at home, and we're now on the bridge together, moving around.
Yeah.
So I think it's great.
See, that's a winner for me.
Yeah, and there's driving games and stuff, it could be done, or interactive movie experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So and we got Oculus here at How to Kill Now. We've got PSVR. We've not got a Vive yet, but we can give you updates of VR as we go through the year. It'll be good taking your VR virginity, bruv. I really look forward to it.
Why does that sound like?
Ease it in softly.
Why does that sound so like? It sounds painful.
Taking your VR virginity.
Why does that sound like jail talk?
Just
You've been in jail before, Marcus?
So next is
do you know, talking of VR, I saw this amazing video, I don't know if I mentioned it before, where this guy set up it's like this viral Facebook video with this guy. You just see it from a first person perspective, a bit like the Prodigy video Smack My Bitch Up, where you can just see it through the person's eyes kind of thing.
My gosh.
Yeah.
For our Billy, please, can you put a link to the Prodigy video Smack My Bitch Up in the How to Get Our show description? It is one of the best visuals I have seen.
It's groundbreaking. It's one of those visuals where it once Prodigy done that, you can never touch that concept visual again, really, because everyone's always going to think that you've copied from that space. It was a little bit like, I was talking to someone online the other day. It was a little bit like in terms of visuals what Apex Tin Window Licker done. That visual, it changed the game in terms of how you represent your music.
Please describe that visual though.
So which one?
Apex Tin Licker.
Yeah, so the Apex Twin Window Licker was such a kind of like, excuse my language, head fuck, because you are in this part of I think LA, and it was these two pimps and they're rolling up to this club. But what happens in the video is that the producer, Apex Twin, he begins to occupy every person's face at some point in the video, but his face is twisted and contorted. And even though that video must be like well over 10 years old now, the CGI was seamless, where it didn't look like these faces are just plastered on to these female actors kind of thing. They actually looked like there were loads of these hideous bearded men in amazing bodies, and you're watching it, you go, oh my God, what is going on? Kind of thing. But it's a very trippy video kind of thing. So visually, it kind of set the standard. And like the Prodigy video, this done the same thing. So this guy, he's kind of taken from the first person perspective. He's gone out, he's bought this racing game. He's gone home. He's driving like it's Ferrari. So that's another thing as well. He drives Ferrari to the supermarket. He's picked up the game, this racing game. I think it's GTA picked up. He's gone back home. And what he's done is in his garage, he's got a Ferrari like in the garage, and he's got a wide projector screen. And on the top of on the Ferrari, he's got a projector. He set it up, and he's got the tires on a mat so that the car doesn't move anywhere. And he's put the game into the projector, but he's linked up the steering wheel of the car, to the projector. So it is like the best possible way you can actually get. I know you've got these chairs which kind of encapsulate what it feels like to be in a racing car. This is the next level where you feel the roar of the engine and everything, but it's linked up to the projector of the screen. I'll see if I can find a video.
Sick.
But it's amazing.
We'll put links to it in the show description. So Billy's like, more fucking links. Smack my bitch up. What was it again? The name of the track?
And Apex Twin Window Licker.
Yes, Window Licker. And also, so someone who did reuse that same bit, but in not such an exciting way, is Kanye West, All Falls Down video.
Yes,
but it does not have anything on the plot twist of Smack My Bitch Up.
No.
Great video. Also, Google versus Pixel 2. It's going to be something that people are talking about. We mentioned it briefly.
Yeah. The war continues.
Yeah, we already spoke about it, but just letting you know, we've got a link in the show description to this where we actually discuss the cameras and what they can do. There's a video and there's a write-up showing how they work with regular photos, skies, portrait mode, and also the selfie facing portrait mode, and you can kind of have a look and get your opinion on it. Yeah, I said it before, man. I think the Pixel blows away the iPhone camera in certain ways, but there are certain elements you might prefer the look of the iPhone camera, because I feel like the iPhone camera in portrait mode, it beautifies you a little bit by softening your face a little piece as well. So who knows, man? Like, you can have a look and let us know how you feel about it there. But so check that out. Another thing, we sent Molly from the How to Kill an Hour gang down to do some augmented reality cocktails. It is, as you know, when you think about mixology cocktails, you think about, hello, sir, what can I get you? And you're like, I'll have a martini.
Is that actually a real thing? Mixology, is that what they call it?
Yeah, mixologist.
I'm going to come off of them because my label's called houseology. I don't like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You could do a cocktail night with House called Mixology versus Houseology. There you go. So augmented reality is...
So it's basically Tom Cruise in it. Like, what's that film he had? It's Cocktail, innit? That was it,
Yeah, that's
where he's
it.
like a bartender. And
that's it.
That was the time when I tried it and I smashed a few glasses in my house when I was about 6-7 years old.
He tried to do the flippy, spinny stuff. No. What's the craziest thing you've seen a mixologist cocktail guy do? Because in Napa in 07 or 06, I saw a guy throw a bottle and it hit the floor and bounced up again into his hand. I don't know how he fucking did it. He threw a bottle at the floor and it bounced off the floor and he caught it again. If you're a mixologist or you have seen this, please let us know at How to Kill an Hour on socials. Please. He threw a bottle at the floor and it bounced. I'm not an idiot. I remember these things. I remember looking at him thinking, what, have you ever seen anything like that before, Bill?
Was someone dropping it on the floor and then...
No, he threw it so like the corner hit the floor and he caught it again.
No, I've only seen people throw it up in the air and catch it. I've never seen people
I've seen
throw
that.
it on the floor and bounce.
What, on concrete floor?
He the bar floor was hard, man.
Okay.
Oh, imagine he got me and it was like a little springy floor.
That's what I was thinking.
No, but I heard it go like... So that's mad. I don't know. It's nuts.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the craziest thing? Well, you're not a drinker, so what do you do with regards to cocktails?
I've seen a can of Coke drop on the floor, but the can just dented. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's why a non-alcoholic experience of it. Yeah. I guess.
Fair enough. All right.
I guess that's the thing though. If you don't drink alcohol, there's no kind of pizzazz or the way our drinks are served. I don't get a lemonade spun around like someone's finger and hey.
You can get mocktails, but I feel like they don't put in the same.
Look at that. This is we're in the age of diversity and equality. Why do they call it mocktails?
Because it's like mocking a cocktail,
exactly,
isn't it?
Mockery. They're mocking the fact that I don't drink alcohol, and this is what I'm against in 2017 leading to 2018. We need some more equality here for all drinkers.
They're not against you. All it is, Funk, is they're just saying
I think non-drinkers contribute just as much to the nighttime economy and the bar spend as you guys who like your alcohol.
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah. Here's a little secret about bars. The margin they make on a Coca-Cola is like a regular bar. I'm not talking about a bougie bar, it's different. Okay. The margin they make on a splash of Coke is amazing. So like, what would you say a can of Coke would cost you?
What, how much
not can, sorry, a glass of Coke in a bar.
Oh, in a bar?
Mid-level bar.
After the bottle of water I just bought today, which was a 500 milliliter bottle of water, and it was priced at £1.70.
Yeah.
Which should retail in London at about 60-70p because a litre bottle of Evian is about £1.
Yeah.
What's a can of Coke? Can of Coke 60p now?
Yeah. So what would you call like a glass of Coke? Yeah, go on, sorry.
A glass of Coke. I think you're paying for the glass. Like you can actually take the glass home with you.
No.
Because that's what the price would suggest. The markup on it would suggest that you're paying for the glass actually that you can take it home as a freebie. So you're talking about £2.
Okay, £2. Do you know how much that splash of Coke probably costs?
Go on.
Like 12p max.
Yeah, because it comes from like a multi-pack.
So they're making like, something shit, 190% on it. And if you were to get like a shot of, I don't know, whiskey in a glass or whatever, I'll be extra. You might get charged like a £5. Yeah. But the whiskey's going to cost like, I don't know, like a lot more. Yeah. Like you're going to make more margin basically is what I'm getting at. And Coke's easy to make, transport, just put a little bit of syrup in the thing downstairs and get it firing up. So yeah, man, it's
all right. What are you trying to say? It takes more.
You're supporting bars, huh? You're supporting bars. They make more money off you.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, but I think what you're trying to say is that there's more effort going into making alcoholic beverages. That's why
there is more effort, because if you think about the brewing process and that before it comes to you, a lot more work goes in. Whereas, sorry, Coca-Cola, your formula's just been a formula for years. You send that syrup over, baby, and then we make it happen. We mix it with some water. So yeah. But anyway, this place here, I like.
Okay.
For drinkers, but we sent Molly down there. Pokemon Go, augmented reality. Yeah. You point your phone at something and you see a Pokemon, you catch it. This is like that, but for cocktails. So they have special coasters for your cocktails and special markings on the table. But depending on the cocktail you get, you download a special app, point your phone at the cocktail, and then your cocktail has actions and things that dance around it and stuff like that. So imagine like you bought a Coke, by itself from there, because they did a Coca-Cola cocktail funk. Yeah. You point your phone at it with the app, and then your Coca-Cola, like a Coca-Cola polar bear maybe, a very sober one, skating around it and stuff like that. So it's just like fun, man. Like it's like added that level of augmentedness to your meals.
Oh, okay. I was panicking. I thought it was a case of you're pretending to mix cocktails that aren't really there, so you go augmented cocktails. So it's just like,
you mean an empty glass?
Yeah. So I thought they were charging people for the experience of mixing air, but it's not. You put my fears to rest. Okay.
Yeah, no, they make cocktails, but they're quite interesting. They're not just like little things dancing around. Sometimes you'll point your app at it, and all you'll be able to see on your screen is a mad design and your cocktail around it as well. So there'll be certain designs which take up the whole of your phone screen.
Okay.
And you literally just see a bit of your cocktail, and it's just fun. I think it's a fun way of using augmented reality to sort of enjoy something that we all like to enjoy, which is a beverage.
The irony of it is that if you have enough drinks anyway, you start to see those kind of things anyway. So that's the effects of alcohol.
Alcohol doesn't make me hallucinate, bruv. Come on. Another thing that's good for Christmas, I think you will agree with. I'll let you take the handles on this funk, and you, Billy Boy, as well. Mario Super Odyssey. Mario Super Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey, man.
Yes.
Ooh.
You wanna touch on that, Billy?
Excuse me.
How far are you in the game? Because I finished it.
I've just finished New York.
Nah, you see, I've said I finished it. You just said you finished the stage. I finished the whole game, man.
So talk to us about the experience, though, guys. Come on, I know you got a completer over here, someone who's done New York. Talk like from the start. What were you expecting from Super Mario Odyssey, and what did it deliver?
I was expecting big things, and big things happened.
Yeah.
So if you got a Switch, there's 2 games you have to have: Zelda and Mario.
And I would attest to that.
Yeah.
This game, initially when they kind of released the news of they got this Mario Odyssey game, this kind of like 3D RPG kind of version of Mario, I was a little bit dubious because I've always kind of experienced Mario in a 2D settings, kind of scrolling across the screen and whatnot, left to right. Just that's the way Mario's always been best at kind of showcasing itself. But this game is deserved of all the high scores it's got. I mean,
Right.
Every magazine has given it like whatever your 5 out of 5s, your 10 out of 10s. It is really up there. And the thing is that it's a different experience to Zelda, but it's just as enjoyable. And it's not like, I mean, I play it. My son plays it. My oldest son plays it. My second oldest son, he enjoys watching his brother play it. And so the different age groups who kind of can engage with the little aspects of it. I mean, it's just kind of the age that we're at now, where if you were to go to watch a Disney Pixar film, it's not just the aesthetics of it are designed for the kids, but there's little in-jokes in there that the adults will get. So it's the same. So it's the same thing with this Mario game, where it's got little references in it which resonate with the 80s child who's playing it. Because when you go to New York City, there's a little tribute to Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And the Donkey Kong tribute is of the old school Donkey Kong, not Donkey Kong that came out on the Dreamcast or the N64, the old school Donkey Kong scrolling. Remember the Nintendo had that console which is like a
Orange. It was
orange flip out kind of,
yeah.
Where they had 2 screens, and the top screen used to filter down into the bottom screen. They've got an ode to that in Mario Odyssey. Kind of thing. Sorry to spoil it for people, but you could probably see it online anyway. But you still need to see it, and it's really, really well done.
That was from the days before consoles or handheld consoles being interchangeable. You bought a console and it was one game in that console, and that was it.
Yeah, that was Nintendo's journey on the way to Game Boy.
Yeah, I had that Super Mario game. Oh, my parents loved me, man. That must have been well expensive then.
Marcus just realising.
Yeah.
Up until that point, he was a bit like, oh, do they? Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah.
I used to have to rattle my metal cup against the bars a couple times to get water at night time. But other than that, that was a classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Yeah, cool. So that says Easter eggs in it.
Yeah.
In terms of the introduction to the game, how was it? Because I feel like you and Billy, you've both played Mario 64, right?
No, I haven't
You've not played 64. Okay, cool. But you played Mario 64.
He's not old enough.
He's not old enough.
It was out when I was still around.
When you were 2. So
when the dinosaurs and when
TV was in black and white. So you've played Mario 64.
Yeah.
So as someone who's played 64, do you feel like it was just kind of a bit like, in terms of playing it, you were just continuing that journey in terms of gameplay? It was quite easy to get into the way he moves around.
No, it's a million times better.
Okay.
I mean,
is it a different mechanic though?
It's a different mechanic, obviously, because you're using the Switch, and part of the Switch is that it's censored. So the way you move your hat, it kind of correlates to how you kind of maneuver the handsets with the Switch. So a flick of the wrist can make the hat flick and do a 360 kind of movement. And
do you see yourself using the motion bits? You can do it, but I don't really use
So you
them.
stay clipped on, Billy.
Yeah.
You stay clipped on while you're playing it. And
I say clipped on, but my son, he detaches it and kind of uses it as a kind of like nunchucks and gets very physical with it, which is great.
And you can do more with the nunchucks out than you can with them on the controller.
Yeah, a lot of the hat movements are easier if you disconnect the handsets. So there's a movement where you can make the hat Mario wears spin around you in a 360 motion to kill all the enemies. That works better if you kind of are holding each of the Joy-Cons, and you move sharply to your left or your right.
I mean, you can still use it when it's plugged in.
Yeah,
but it's difficult.
Yeah, because you know that you'd have to move the whole Nintendo Switch to the left or the right, and it might fly out your hand, and tears.
It plays a lot like, it sounds weird, but it plays a lot like the old 2D side-scroller Mario, but in 3D setting. Would you say?
Yeah, because obviously there's elements where you're playing in the Mario Odyssey and you go into a 2D mode.
Sick.
Yeah, and I think that's really clever as well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Cool. And what was it like, Billy, just to pick up your first ever 3D iteration of Mario running around, gameplay-wise?
Just like pick up and play. Nothing really
easy, yeah.
Nothing really
pretty intuitive,
too difficult to learn. Just pick up and play as you would do like a regular game.
Yeah. Cool. And what's the soundtrack like in the game as well? Like, because like you said, there's like little Easter eggs and stuff in there. So what's it like? Is it like?
It's just so well done. I mean, what they've done is the thing with Mario Odyssey is that the team behind it, their PR, their marketing was absolutely dynamite. This is how it worked for me. This is how I came about buying Mario Odyssey. So they've obviously put out the kind of the press that this game is coming, whatnot, but we're still riding off the back of Zelda. They've released around October time FIFA, Street Fighter, Mario Kart. So Mario Odyssey, it was still a strong title, but there was other kind of prominent names and developers who'd kind of put their names into the hat. So it would kind of, as a news feature, it kind of fallen by the wayside. What they've done is they put out this video in the lead up about a month or about 6 weeks before the game was due to drop. And what it was a visual of Mario, a 3D version of Mario dancing in kind of like a 1940s kind of setting of New York. But he was dancing to this theme tune, which later became the theme tune of the New York City stage. What that theme tune done, it indoctrinated my kids, and then they started singing this track day in, day out kind of thing. And it is catchy. It's like a jazz number. And what happened is that kind of drove the whole marketing, because no one had seen Mario in a kind of like a 3D setting like that, kind of dancing and doing all these kind of jazz moves and whatnot. And there's actual part of the game where you actively need to recreate that moment by getting am I saying too much, Billy?
No.
Yeah.
So there's actually part of that game where you actually need to recreate that by collecting the different facets of the band. So you need the bass player, you need the drums guy, you need the guitarist and the horns player, and you bring them all together, and then you make that soundtrack from the game, kind of thing. So, but in the lead up to it, I think one of the strong suits was the fact that they had this song going all over the socials. When you go into like the news network part of the Nintendo Switch, that was kind of like the main thing they were plugging.
Really?
Yeah. So Nintendo Switch have got a news platform on there.
Yeah.
And that video was there to kind of watch. Like,
I think one of the good things about it is it's not just like a linear game.
No.
You have to go back and collect all the bits in it.
Yeah.
But another good thing about it as well, with the boss battles, it's not as simple as beat him up, you get points. You have to figure out how to do it. One of the bosses, I had to redo it about 10 times. I couldn't figure out how to beat him. Just like, what do I have to do here? Is that, did you struggle at all when you were trying to figure out?
Because I kind of knew that in my past experiences of Mario bosses, they're never really hard. I mean, generally, it always has been a case of you hit him on the head 3 times and then that's kind of it.
Yeah, that was the main bit.
But you just have
beforehand was like, what do you have to do?
But like you said, the shelf life of the game is really, really brilliant, because even when you've completed it, there's always this thing of there's all these extra parts that you need to get and all these extra moons that you need to collect and whatnot. So the kind of the initial narrative, it might feel like you can get it done pretty quickly, but to actually complete the game, there's a lot left. So I think it's a bit like Zelda. Like Zelda is massive.
I still haven't completed that.
Is massive, but there's so many extras to it which kind of extend the lifespan of the game.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all in all, would you say this is a good Christmas present?
I think Nintendo need to give themselves not just a pat on the back. Yeah, they need to break out the champers. What they've done this year has probably been one of the greatest comebacks in electronic entertainment. It was a little bit like what we hoped BlackBerry were going to accomplish when BlackBerry said that they were going to re-release handsets, or no, they were going to ditch handsets and go into hard software and try and come back that way strong. Or when Nokia tried to release their smartphone kind of thing after we'd already seen the iPhone. This is what we kind of this is what Nintendo have done.
10 million units sold.
Yeah, crazy. The way they've kind of, and they've cleaned up on the awards this year as well in terms of Nintendo Switch. It's won so many awards for kind of best gadget of the year and whatnot. And the sales, yeah, like you said, they've sold 10 million. I think it's going to be on every kid's Christmas list this year. I was glad I got mine in March, but the price is probably still held this year. It's not going to drop. It's not going to be any sales in regards to it. Why would they need to?
Okay, fair enough. Kicked ass. We've got some more games to talk about in a moment, but let's switch it up to some computer gaming related merchandise, which you've actually just got in the office today. That is Numbskull. They've sent us over some Crimbo jumpers, which are Christmas jumpers, which are themed with different computer games. They've got loads of different types. Fallout 4, Wonder Woman, Batman, Doctor Who, Assassin's Creed, PlayStation branded ones, and Street Fighter, and more. I've had Numbskull stuff before. They've given us some dope T-shirts, but at Christmas time, you got to be a little bit funky with your Christmas jumper.
Yep.
You got. I think the levels of Christmas jumper now. A cheeky comment isn't enough.
No.
A light on a reindeer's nose isn't enough.
No.
I mean, the reindeer boob thing that's going around Manchester apparently again, where women are cutting out space for a boob and putting a reindeer's nose on their nipple. And
really?
Antlers. Yeah.
Where?
It's apparently happening more in Manchester than anywhere else. But
okay, let me just go on trainline.com, book my ticket.
But I feel like that's happened a couple of years ago. That's not that excitement. I feel like trying to do too much with your jumper is not the one. I think Funk's got a great Christmas one on at the moment, which kind of represents him. This is as Christmassy as it gets.
Yeah, the Grinch.
Yeah, it's just simple red jumper with a white writing on it. But the Numbskull stuff is how you represent your gaming preferences.
Mm-hmm.
They sent us over quite a bunch actually. Funk, you got the Batman one though.
Yeah,
Jingle Batman one is dope.
Batman smells.
Batman one is so dope. Yeah. It's just like got the proper. It's like I feel like it's Keaton Black Batman.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of touching on that.
Yeah, because it's got that yellow from the first Batman film of 1989.
My favorite Batman, and I've got a Wonder Woman one where she's got she's holding together her bracelets.
Yeah,
you know that
because that obviously taps into your feminine power.
I am a wondrous woman. I think if I was a woman, I would be a wonderful delight. Check those out at Numbskull's website, or if you actually head to howtokillanhour.com, you'll be able to get info on all of these things. They've got loads of Christmassy stuff that's coming up actually.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best, Marcus, to hold my tongue, and I can't, because you mentioning Wonder Woman makes me want to bring up that scene from Justice League, and yeah, I can't. I went home that night. Do you know when you're in your bed and like you're asleep, but your eyes are open? My eyes were open. I was sleeping with my eyes open that night, Billy. It was so basically me and Marcus had the pleasure of seeing Justice League. And there was one scene in it, which really, really, me and Marcus, like, we synchronized our look at each other in amazement, like, what has just happened? So there's this scene where the main kind of antagonist, he's gone to the place where to get the final piece of his power source, one of the pieces of his power source, and it's being protected by the Amazonians in their part of the world, which is kind of like hidden in secrecy. There's like a cloak where no one else can see this island, and there's a chase scene, yeah. And man, the scene when we were kids, yeah, Billy. When me and Marcus were kids, there was this film, yeah, called Jason and the Argonauts, and Sinbad, and it used stop camera motion, like it was that kind of remember those films, Marcus?
Yeah,
those kind of special effects.
Defo.
It was real dodgy. Yeah, like that looked that CGI sequence looked like it cost as much as the can of Coke in some of these clubs. Yeah, it looked mad cheap, and it hurt me as a DC fanatic, as a lover of Batman, that the way that was executed. It was.
How did it make you feel, Funk?
You got to chuck in some sad music in post, man, because I was gutted.
What was it, Funk?
I spent over 30 years with this brand, and this is how they do me?
Funk. I mean,
seriously, if you're listening, yeah, Justice League, DC, Warner Brothers, whoever is behind, whatever. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm even coming at you, Christopher Nolan, because you have handed over the franchise to the most disrespectful bunch of people ever in Hollywood, right? And I'm talking, they have no care, no passion, no love, no attention to detail. And what they've done, they've loaded up a series of images shot on a Nokia with a dash of Photoshop, and they try to pass it off on the red carpet.
Funk. I know, man. What Funk's referring to is the CGI situation in the film, where a lot of people have mentioned that they think they could have done better. In 2017, if you're fully animating a character, which we're going to see with Thanos in the Marvel side of things, aren't he? He's going to be. Is he? I think he's fully CGI. Yeah. They might have a body doubling.
No, he's not. Because it's Josh Brolin.
Is it Josh Brolin? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of work though on the face done.
Yeah.
So is his face going to be part prosthetics and part CGI?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because if you fully CGI somebody, then it does actually. It's just hard, isn't it? It's hard. But
this character,
we can tell.
This character, it was the movement. It was the movement that was very. It was very sketchy. Like what's the character's name?
I can't remember
that horned. I don't know what his name is, but he was chasing after one of the Amazonian women. They were riding the horses, and just the movement that she was running at.
Yeah,
she looked like she was running on the treadmill.
Oh, that's it, Steppenwolf.
Yeah,
Steppenwolf. Yeah,
yeah. So she looked like she was running on the treadmill, but it just looked very, very, very odd.
All right, let's.
Which leads me on to the next bit of news, which I've heard, which is that apparently there is very, 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 very strong information behind this that they're going to scrap the whole thing.
Do you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm a big fan of DC.
Yeah,
Batman is my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
I will fight to the death. People say that he's not even a proper superhero who hasn't got powers. Batman's my guy. If I could be a superhero, Batman is probably the DC guy I'd be. A lot of people would be Superman, but I would be Batman.
Yeah,
right. But I feel like, and this is all joking aside, like we can rip the franchise and say, oh, shit, or whatever, but real constructive criticism. And I think it's interesting you say that, Funkers, because we had a very similar conversation after the film, didn't we?
Yeah.
We both said to each other that we think that the best thing that they should have done is take their time with the franchise.
Yeah.
Fuck what Avengers are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're years behind. Don't forget, the first X-Men film came out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
No, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
17 years ago.
Yeah.
Huh? Sorry?
What?
Yeah, it did.
17.
Find out when X-Men 1 came out.
Avengers Infinity War is a culmination of 17 years of storyline.
Yeah.
And it's not even including the other Hulk films. So it's only including one Hulk film.
Yeah.
And not including the Fox including the Fox X-Men films. It's not including Fantastic Four. Yeah. But it's including 17 years.
Exactly. So what they've had to do is they've had to build, when they're making their part of the franchise, they've had to realize what we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've watched X-Men already. So Avengers kind of took up the storyline and went from there. Like, and yes, there's been confusing parts. Like we've seen 2 different versions of the same speedster, and 2 different stories, right? Cool. All right, I get it. But what you find the Avengers journey has done, and the X-Men journey has done, even though they're both the same universe, but as you mentioned, owned by different franchises.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. That's a great idea. Is that they've been aware of what's out there, and they've kind of just ignored it and done their own thing and paced it with the way it works for them. So to get to Old Man Logan, you know, from the Logan that we've seen, or the Wolverine that we've seen 17 years ago, that's a long journey to get to that. And what you can't do, I'm not saying it's impossible, but what you can't guarantee you can do is build up that same amount of momentum off a couple of years. Yeah. Get me? So, you know,
there's literally about a 7-year gap between when Deadpool first was showcased in the Wolverine film and then his headline film.
Exactly. And they didn't do it right. So they just rewrote it and scripted it. And even, you know, Deadpool being Deadpool can crack joke about it. But, you know, then they've not got certain characters right. So they've kind of taken their time to let us forget about them and come back to them. And there's nothing wrong with the DC franchise saying, right, we're going to start this in 2015, and we're going to get a character right. We're going to give them an origin story. We're going to take our time with them and build up a 20-year plan. Fans will wait. Fans will wait. If you give them good tidbits, they will wait. And what they've done now is they've tried to rush and get to the Avengers' first film without any backstory, without any sort of, you know, we had Iron Man. Iron Man really boosted the franchise. Where have we had that Batman series of films because Batman and Iron Man, I feel like they're kind of counterparts, aren't they? We've not had enough Batman we've not even had the right Batman. Sorry, Ben Affleck. So I agree with you, Funk. I think it needs to be flattened, the franchise, and they need to take their time. It's a shame because Wonder Woman was so fucking good. Wonder Woman was a great film.
And I think that's where the decision comes from. The decision comes from since they've rebooted the DC franchise, since Nolan has stepped away from directing the Batman, is that what they've done is that they've tried to incorporate the previous 3 films that Nolan have done into the DC narrative, the story, the universe, but it hasn't. It starts from Man of Steel. So you've got Man of Steel, you've got one Wonder Woman film, you've got Batman versus Superman, and then you've got Justice League. And it's just like,
but where was the Batman origin? How can you just go to Batman versus Superman? How can you have that?
Because what they're
rushing it.
Yeah, because you've got the Batman origin in Batman versus Superman,
but you can't cram that in. You can't. Do you know what I mean? You're cramming in too much. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. The kid in me wants to see Batman versus Superman, X-Men, Capcom, SNK crossover with some Tekken and Pokemon in there. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see that eventually.
Or maybe they were
Star Wars. Let's get that in there as well.
Or maybe they were super lazy and thought that the Batman origin is actually the TV series Gotham.
Maybe.
That's the only logical reason, because
maybe
DC are doing pretty well on the TV franchise things.
TV's good. DC's good on TV
with the Flash. Gotham TV series, they're doing really well,
and they've taken it in their own direction, and they're staying true to their universe, and they've taken time. Like Flash, what are we on, season 3, 4?
No, 4.
4 seasons.
So
they've taken their time with it, you know, and with comics, you don't get all the answers in a series of comics. They always leave unanswered questions, or if there's an ending, there's like or is there? Dun, dun, dun,
I mean, it took the time with Smallville. How long was that on? It was on for like 20 years.
There you go. Yeah, he couldn't stay small for much longer, could he? But so I just feel like with the franchise, I would not be upset. And you wouldn't be losing. I'm not saying I speak for the people, but I don't feel like you'd be losing a customer from me if you were honest and said, right, let's start again with the franchise. Starting with a Batman. And you know, it's not just Ben Affleck's fault. In the Justice League film, and we heard people also say this as well as we did.
They actually said it as we were leaving.
And Funk said the same thing to me, is like they've managed to turn Batman into a parody. And you can't do that. No. Batman is a guy who's constantly challenged by the fact that he's not a superhero. He's just a regular guy. and he's got to act like this guy who is invincible. So he gets shot, and he's got a bullet in his shoulder. He has to pretend to keep up the premise to make Hero scared. Is that he's bulletproof, so he has to be physically in his top form. And then you've got him pretending to be this Playboy bunny who doesn't really care. Playboy bunny, this Playboy guy who's around buying restaurants and is really flippant and doesn't really care about the people. He's just all about his money. You know, on the other side, and that's not really him either. He's kind of lost his identity since his parents have been killed. That's when he stopped being a kid. He had to be someone else. Do you know what I mean? And that's a deep storyline, bro. That's a deep storyline. And like for all, and I'm not even the biggest fan of the Nolan films. I like some of the early, like the Tim Burton first Batman film. That's my favorite one. And that was a bit funny and silly in places, but it still managed to keep the level of
you didn't feel like the jokes were coming from Batman though, and that's what it is. It was just like Ben Affleck was making jokes, and we're just like, Batman would never say that or do that.
Yeah, man, and like there's Batman. There's like these videos out there, like on the internet, where they get some high quality. I think it's like college humor type videos where they have like horny Batman, and it looks like the scene out of the third Nolan Batman film where he gets stabbed, where he gets betrayed by I can't remember her name, and then she stabbed him. He's like, "Hang on, we just had sex." And all he's talking about is freakiness, but it's like a parody of that scenario. When we were watching the film, I felt like, you know, and I feel like I'm DC bashing right now, but Batman was just a parody of himself. I mean, I tell you what though, let's be honest, in terms of casting, Aquaman, that was good. That was a good casting. I look forward to that film. He looks sick. Wonder Woman's great.
There's so much scope with those characters because you don't know them. So if they do something, you can't really. When I mean you don't know them, I mean from a populist perspective, because they haven't been pushed out there like Batman. You can't finish their sentences as you would do with a Batman character.
Exactly.
There's been Batman films going over like 25 years. But if someone like, I mean, the Aquaman character, Arthur Curry, was doing things which I found questionable, but you would have to really be a comic book head to kind of be like, because I felt like he was a bit too on the comical side. But again, this is where a talk we had before with the Batman vs Superman iteration, because everyone is clambering for that middle ground, that market. So they're putting humor in there to try and get the kids in there, get the family in there, and they're compromising the characters. But then what happens is that you're going to lose consumer confidence. I don't know if I would actually go to the cinema for the next reboot of a Justice League.
I will, if they're confident enough to break it down and go from origin and say, look, we're gonna. If they said openly, which I think we'll never hear that, if they just broke it down and went again with the franchise. So they just came out with a new Batman. We got a new Batman. I'd give it a chance,
because this is how strong consumer confidence is. If you get something right properly enough, you will go and watch a franchise that you've never heard of before, like Guardians of the Galaxy, and take your money and go watch it in the cinema. Now, I've watched Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know anything about that before it came to the screen. It wasn't one of those comic books I read, but because I'd seen what they'd done with the other titles in the Marvel universe, I trusted them. But like, what are we on? Like, DC have kind of used up all their 9 lives now.
I think they blew their load too early,
and they want a second date.
Yeah, man. They need to go home. Yeah. They need to have a big glass of water. Think about what they did, and come again stronger, man. Yeah. You know, it's a shame. It's a very big shame. But anyway, those Christmas jumpers. You can check out the full range from a link at howtokillanhour.com. LA Noire is a game that we got in the How to Kill an Hour studios, and it will be something that's available over Christmas because it's out now. I'm going to be truly honest. I have not played it. Funk and I both got a copy. I've not managed to get my hands on it. Funk, talk to me, man. What is it like? Because you know I'm a big fan of Rockstar. One of my favorite game producers. Talk to me, man.
So I was onto you on this when I saw the adverts that they were bringing this out. It's out on the Switch and the PS4. So initially this game first came out in 2011, and they've kind of giving it a reboot, remaster, jazzed it up a little bit, which they've done with quite a few titles now on PlayStation 4 now.
Yep.
They've done it with
GTA 5.
GTA 5. They've done it with the two of us. Yeah, so they've done it with that game as well. So LA Noire, Rockstar game, so it's got a big reputation behind it. So that's a majority of the work done in terms of kind of jumping into untried and untested waters with some titles, because you go in a PlayStation store, you see loads of titles there, you think, why should I spend my money on this? This one is by the makers of Grand Theft Auto, so you're in good hands. So you know, on that basis alone, the storyline is going to be amazing, tip top, and the attention to detail and whatnot is going to be amazing also. Now, LA Noire is set in 1947, I believe. Very specific, but I think I can remember the date. 1947.
What month?
Yeah, what month? Yeah. And you play this character called Cole Phelps, a very principled, very driven, ambitious young police officer who is working in the LAPD. And he's solving, you control him in solving a series of small misdemeanors and some real serious graphic murders. And when I mean graphic, I mean like these murders are really graphic. Note to anyone out there that's got young kids, this game is 18 and over. Yeah, really 18 and over. Not just like, oh, bit of swearing here, but no, this is real 18 and over. You're seeing instances where you're talking to the coroner with a dead female body there, which you have to kind of examine, and you get really close. You have to turn you have to turn the dead person's head, examine wounds on the neck, look at all the bruising and examine all the evidence, and whilst this woman is fully naked, and you're getting all the grisly details of how this woman's being cut up and sexually assaulted and this one and that. It's a real intense perspective on what it is to be or how they assume it is to be a kind of a police officer dealing in homicide. But I think that's why I like Rockstar, because they've never really compromised when they've done the whole GTA thing. Even back then in the day, I remember being like younger and watching the news, like the kind of the morning, I think it's called This Morning on ITV, and they had the makers of Grand Theft Auto on national television and questioning their ethics as to, do you feel like you should be releasing a game which kind of encourages theft of vehicles and violence and prostitution? And Rockstar have always been unapologetic in that aspect, and here they are again entered into the world of criminal investigation, and they're just doing it as it would be. I mean, that's an unpleasant job, so they're going to show you how unpleasant it is through a video game.
So it really drags you into the story, and you feel like, so this isn't kind of like because when you say explore crimes, because when I hear Rockstar, when not a lot of people hear Rockstar, they think GTA 5. Yeah. Open roaming, driving around. So you're driving down the street, a crime goes on, you take a corner, or is it a bit more guided? Do they kind of guide your character into situations? Is it a lot of cutscenes where you have to take in what's being said? And
so, stuff? I mean, I'm not like the biggest Grand Theft Auto player, whatnot, but how LA Noire kind of pans out is that there's a set narrative whereby you progress through the ranks of police officer, moving from traffic to homicide and different aspects, moving up further to detective and so forth. But you can break that narrative at certain parts with, I guess, mini games, whereby there might be a robbery on one part of the LA street, and you've been called in as a dispatch to kind of
side missions kind of things.
So you get all these side missions and mini games per se, but the main narrative is set for you in terms of you start off with small misdemeanors progress in rank to homicide, and then you're hit with this larger series of interlinked murders, and then you find out that you're now facing the prospect of a serial killer. But what's also interesting is that as you play the game, when you pick up a newspaper clipping, it goes to a cutscene, and there's this running story of this newspaper clipping of these characters that you've still yet to meet, and one's like a criminal psychologist, and it's just really, really, really cleverly done. Again, with most of these computer game titles these days, the storyline will rival Hollywood 10 times over, kind of thing. And I'm always scratching my head like, why didn't they turn this into a film or a Netflix TV series? Because it's just as good.
So you're saying that Rockstar have written a show that is so they've written a game story that's so good it's worthy of cinema.
You're probably looking at a game which is, well, my new favourite TV series that I've recently watched on Netflix is Mindhunter. So you're probably looking at this kind of occupying that level of entertainment, Mindhunter or True Crime, which came out a couple of years back with not the second season, the first season, with Woody and Matthew McConaughey. But that's what this game represents. It is that entertaining, where you're like literally gripped, where you're watching the cutscene so much, and then I have to play again now, kind of thing. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Right. I'll look forward to getting my hands on that could be another Crimbo present. Another one out there that's actually doing quite a lot is
another one.
Another one is, and this is quite funny actually, Funk, because I like this because you actually do not play this game, and it's a game that many people have played, and it's a game that is still floating around in like the top 20 of the UK charts 5 years after it came out, and that is GTA 5.
Yeah.
Why have you never played it? Is it just one of those things that you just haven't happened to get your hands on? You just weren't part of it, or?
It's funny you mention that, because I think one of the things that didn't appeal to me in some instances, I like in some aspects of gaming a structure.
Yeah. And
when I used to hear people say, oh yeah, I'm playing GTA, and I'm just like, that game was released like 25 years ago. What do you mean? It's like, yeah, but I just go and I pick up the prostitutes and I smash and I run over old people, and then we have a chase, and then I get 5 stars, and then the police chase me, and then then I think so. Okay, that's interesting. But I've always liked an objective. So the thing that never leaped out to me about GTA 5 or any of their titles is this game even completable? Because it just seems like you just play it forever.
It's one of those games where there are storylines, there's side storylines, and they're movie-like, if I'm honest. So what you like about LA Noire, you're probably getting a lot of that. But there's like movie-type scenarios in there. There's real narrative to the missions.
Yeah.
And
I did have San Andreas for a little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so San Andreas, great. So, San Andreas is probably my favourite GTA universe, if you want to call it that, or city, or islands, or however you want to put it. And Easter egg bits of San Andreas are in is it San Andreas? They're in GTA 5, aren't they? I think you can see some of the streets in there.
Okay.
But in terms of story with GTA, which is good, that's why I like talking to someone. I appreciate your honesty saying that you've not played it, because a lot of people are like, yeah, of course I played it. But a lot of the stories, even side missions, have narrative. And they spend, it's like they spend, the reason these games take a long time, I feel like it's just getting the stories down, and how to interlink them. And GTA 5 is clever because it actually isn't just a story of one guy and how he affects the world. It's a story of 3 people and how they affect the world and work together, and what they're doing at different points, and how it affects the narrative, and how people that aren't connected are connected, how people that were previously connected become disconnected, why characters have certain dispositions. So like there might be a character that's always fucking angry. But you see what's going on at home. I'd be pissed off if I was at home and I thought some funny business was going on with my missus. Or there's a character who's like off his face, and then you find out why, and you see him in you might find out why. You find out a few funny predicaments, or there's a character who's in a big squeeze. and you find out why they're so desperate to maybe work for money at a certain situation.
Yeah.
So you might like that storyline.
Yeah.
The reason I'm talking about GTA is that I realized it was still like number 17 in the charts when I was out the other day.
That's incredible.
And GTA 5 was released on
It's like 4 years ago or something.
it was on PS3. It was on PS3 is it 2013?
17th of September 2013.
17th of what?
September 2013.
17th of sorry, Billy, say again.
17th of September 2013.
2013, not 2013. sorry, bro. 2013, 17th of September 2013, 14, 15, 16, 4 years ago, bro.
And it's still in the top.
4 years.
And I read somewhere it sold 80 million copies.
Wouldn't be surprised. Just fucking hell, bro.
Do you know what the interesting?
That's a good game.
Yeah, and you know what? This is all probably why we talk about music and all, because it's all interlinked in the wider economy. And I'll tell you why. Yesterday they released figures for inflation and the consumer price index, which used to be the old RPI, which how they measure inflation. They said that inflation has gone up because of games, computer games. And the reason why is because when you have games like titles, especially like GTA, especially like Call of Duty, especially like FIFA, holding their value at a price of like £80 a pop, it's no wonder.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that never has really depreciated over the years, kind of thing, the price of games. Everything else is kind of roughly, it's kind of dropped off a little bit in price, but game titles has pretty much gone up. Like it used to be a case of on PlayStation 2 titles used to be like £35, £40 max.
Yeah. £60.
Yeah. Now the bog standard title is 50.
So with that being said though, and you feel free to disagree, but I'm going to say that two things hold value in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of them is mobile phones. I think value for money, considering it's something you use every day and how long it's in your hand for, the value for money is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Even an iPhone that's £1,000, £1,200.
Do you think so?
In your hand every single, something you use that much compared to all your other tech, your phone is what you use the most. And I think you, the listener, are going to be hard pressed to find me something that you hold in your hand more. I hold my dick less than I hold my phone, and I'm a wanker, right? That and then computer games. For 40 quid, 50 quid, 60 quid.
Yeah.
You could GTA has the whole online world. You could still be playing that now.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Or COD. Online for you got to pay and even if you include your online fees, if you want to be like a Plus member or you want to get Xbox Online, whatever,
they've probably got
value for money.
They've probably
ridiculous.
got two of the most loyal fan bases in the world as well. Call of Duty fan base and Grand Theft Auto fan bases. They're like you're talking like Beyonce, the what are they called, the Beyonce fans?
The bees.
The beehive, the Bayhive. They're probably like the Call of Duty and you don't come at them, man.
Exactly.
Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto.
But the value for money though, like real talk though, the computer games are good value for money.
Yeah.
Do you get me? I think all right, even a pack of cards.
So you think that's justified spending a £70, £80 on a title that you still play 4 years later?
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. What else have I had that I could play for 4 years? That shit. GTA is so good. It was released on the PS3.
Yeah.
So it was released on another generation of console, and it's still in the top 20 now on the next console. Fuck me, that's ridiculous. Yeah. That's like a film coming out in the cinema 4 years ago and still being screened 4 years later.
Yeah, that's true.
Top 20. Do you know what I mean? It's stuck around. And it's probably dipped out and in and that. But the reason I got onto that is because they've created a new add-on. Doomsday Heist, it's called. Heist is the online thing where you get together online with a bunch of mates and then you go and do a crime together. You each have different roles that you can allocate. You can talk to each other. You can discuss how you're going to take on things.
Okay.
And
so it's co-op play.
It's co-op play.
Okay.
And you all have objective, and they have very different rewards, levels of hardness and stuff like that. And you also have a free roam when you can go out and just fuck around and kill people. Have people
levels of hardness. Pause.
You know it. You know it. And basically, it's a story where there's a billionaire entrepreneur called Avon Hertz, and his pet and his pet neural network Clifford have stumbled upon some evidence that their outside forces working on a plan so diabolical it could end life as we know it. Mm-hmm. So they've kind of added that super crazy end of the world movie vibe to it, and that's where you come in, because they need someone crazy enough to take this down. And there are things like tanks, jetpacks, the ability to call your own strike team, and orbital cannons.
Yeah.
So it's just, they've taken the game and what they've done is they've taken a platform that works and they've written a fucking great story and plonked it in. Do you know what they're doing? They're doing what the Avengers are doing. They created a great bottom line game, a universe, and they're just putting extra storylines into it. They're putting chapters into the story.
Is this downloadable content? Is it free or is
downloadable content? I need to know how much it costs, Billy. Could you find out how much that costs, please?
Because I've seen some. Yeah, because I have.
Is it free?
Okay,
so it's a free.
Yeah, so they kind of have a way of rewarding the loyalty of their users as well by dropping this freeness in them, which is great. I mean. Yeah, bruv. I mean, Rockstar as a whole are quite a great company. I mean, it kind of touches on another aspect I saw in the news yesterday about, this was in the UK news, about gaming and gambling, because a lot of this add-on content, which kind of...
Microtransactions.
Yes, and that's a big problem whereby your £80 over the course of the 4 years, it isn't actually £80 in the face value.
Exactly.
Not with this title, but in terms of other titles, because you add on the different packs. I think the main culprit of that is FIFA. Because I've met a mate of mine at football. I play football every week, and he told me about FIFA Ultimate Team, which is this whole kind of it's like a lucky dip kind of scenario which exists where you buy packs online. You actually need to pay real money for these packs online. But a friend of mine has spent in the region. Okay, he's bought the game to start off with. The game is £50, and then he's bought these ultimate packs and he's racked up. You ready for this?
Go on.
$5,000.
Fuck me. And that's why they're doing it for Star Wars then. That's why they did it for the Star Wars game.
Oh really?
You say, Bill?
With the Ultimate Team, because I've got a couple of mates that just splash for their money on it.
Yeah.
But you can still get the packs through playing the game, because you get credits at the end of a match. You can use those credits to buy the packs.
Yeah.
But to have like a quick shortcut, because you can't be bothered to play the game, you can buy these extra FIFA points to then undo the packs.
But the packs that you can buy, is there more a chance that you can get better players with?
No, it's the same. It's just where people just can't be bothered to play the game. It's like a quick shortcut that they use to purchase more packs.
It's fascinating, because that's when the addiction thing comes into it.
We think it's crazy, like £500 last year on just packs. So what?
500.
$5,000 from your friends. So that's where they're making the money off those microtransactions. I very much refuse to do that.
Okay.
I'm not down with that, man.
Okay.
I ain't down with that.
You got nothing to show for it as well.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. If I drop a £60 on a game, if I want to get add-on content, that's up to me. If I want to get extra levels of £20, £30 in the future, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't want charges to play my game. £60. Like if it was a free, if the game was free, or a tenner, cool, do your thing. But for me, I refuse this whole microtransactions game. But obviously, they're making money off it.
And I think, in all honesty,
it's gambling.
I'll be very candid. That's the reason why I've stayed away from Ultimate Team, because I don't really want to get sucked into a game which I'm so addicted by. I've got a very competitive streak as it is, and the next minute I am buying these packs to try and
fuck that.
You can play it, but you're at a loss, because the people who have the better teams are the people who have just spent loads of money to get the good players.
I see.
Fuck.
So you're at a disadvantage anyway.
Okay.
Fuck that.
And they probably would make that money back by entering those competitions and winning the prize money and all that.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
They do it all again next year when FIFA 19 comes out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
You can't transfer your team every year. You just start again.
You see, this industry
that's ridiculous.
I think they need to do an audit on how much this industry is actually worth, because I think on the face value, everyone knows it's a $1 billion dollar industry, but I think it's probably entered into the trillions.
Ridiculous. Oh, that's why they're doing it then, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Very interesting, fascinating.
So, I mean, are you into this sort of spending, or is this not really your
No.
kind of thing?
Literally, I try and monitor and control my spending, and like you said, just keep it at what I've paid for. And what helps that is by picking games like titles like the Last of Us, not the Two of Us, that's what it's called, The Last of Us, Uncharted. Even I didn't purchase The Division. We was kind of playing that on the promo, but that has actual packs again, which you have to pay for that Tom Clancy game. But that is an amazing game, very addictive, and I can see how you can kind of get drawn into purchasing additional content.
Homie ain't playing that, man. I am sorry if I'm to cut you off, but nah, fuck that shit, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was our more than an hour, 2 hours episode of Christmas bits.
Lots of juicy bits in there.
So those are all the bits that you need for Christmas. Don't forget, every single thing that you hear about on this show, you can actually check out links to it by clicking the links in the description, plus those funky videos. Is that right, Bill?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, also don't forget, if you want to get involved in How to Kill an Hour, let us know what you're thinking, how we're sounding, how you're feeling. You can rate and comment us by a link in the description as well.
And please follow all the socials, howtokillanhour.com.
That's right.
On everything.
On everything. In the meantime, I have been Marcus Bronzy.
I've been Funk Butcher.
You have been Funk Butcher, haven't you? How's it been being Funk Butcher this week?
It's been alright.
Enjoyed yourself, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I've enjoyed being Marcus Bronzy. We're back in the building, baby.
Yeah, good to be back.
We're going nowhere. 2018.
See you soon.
Don't forget about that. Plenty of ways to kill an hour out there. Thank you for killing one with us.